Welcome to Football Roundup with your host, Randy Silver. We break down the biggest sports stories daily in our global game, football. There's no bigger story than the champions. Let's go! UEFA is back, baby. Woo! We have a Champions League draw. We're going to break down everything for you that you need to know. We're going to go over the 32 team overview, preview analysis of each group, predictions, key dates, storylines, and so much more for you. I'm ready. Are you ready? Let's get it. So first, here are your 32 teams and where they're located throughout Europe. Now, they're all not in Europe. Technically, Galatasaray in Turkey could be Europe, could be Asia. You have Ukraine, which could be Europe, could be part of Asia, depending on how you look at it. Saudi Arabia is trying to get into this Champions League, especially with all their investments. That's not happening yet. Israel, if they made it, they would be in here. Technically, the Middle East, but pretty much it's all of Europe. So here they're at. England's got 4 teams. Spain's got 5 teams. Why do they have 5 teams in Spain? Because you get the 4 that automatically qualify, which we'll talk about. And Sevilla won Europa League, so they get automatically into the Champions League. Italy's got 4 teams. Portugal's got 3. Germany's got 4. And then everyone else is around 1 or 2. Here are the pots broken out. Pot 1 are all winners of the league. Pot 2 would be second place in the league. Pot 3 would be third place in the league. Pot 4 would be fourth place in your league. If you didn't get 2 or 3, 4 automatic bids to get into pot 1, pot 2, pot 3, pot 4, then it came down to you going through qualification rounds, and then you fell into the pot. Pot 1, pot 2, pot 3, pot 4, you'll play one of those teams in the group. In addition, you can't play a team that's in your country. So in the initial group stages, Man City can't get matched up with Man U, can't get matched up with Newcastle in pot 4, and can't get matched up in pot 3 with Arsenal's in pot 2. They got moved up because there weren't enough teams there. But you can't get matched up with any of your teams in the same country. So this is how it broke out too. And now we're going to show you all the groups in more detail, so don't worry. Group A, Bayern Munich, Man U, Copenhagen, Galatasaray. Group B, Sevilla, your Europa League winners from last year. Arsenal, runners-up in the EPL. PSV, Dutch, and Lens from France. They came in second place last year. I should say Group A, Munich won. Man U came in third. Copenhagen won Danish League. Galatasaray won the Turkish League. Or he came in second. Group C is Napoli. They won the Italian League last year. Real Madrid came in second in Spain. Braga, Union Berlin. The Cinderellas in here from where they were a couple years ago. They were not even in the Bundesliga. They've had such a meteoric rise. Group D, Benfica, Inter, who made the Champions League final last year, and they lost to Manchester City. Salzburg, Real Sociedad. Group E, Feyenoord, Atletico, Lazio, Celtic. Group F, the group of death. Dun dun dun. This group is hard. Paris, Dortmund, AC Milan, and Newcastle. Newcastle back in Champions League for the first time in decades, and you would think that they would hopefully get a better draw, but they're in Group D. They're in pot 4, so you knew it was going to be a tougher draw regardless. Could have been a different group, but no, they got the group of death. So we'll see how they do, but Newcastle will be rocking. Group G, City, Leipzig, Cervina, Zvezda, Young Boys. In Group H, Barca, Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Antwerp. City and Barcelona got amazing draws, dream draws. They're going to walk through both their groups most likely. Here's the schedule of games. Put these on your calendar, so if you're able to watch at home, if you're at work, whatever it is, make sure you know. First match day is in 2 weeks, September 19th, September 20th. Then you have October 3rd and 4th, October 24th, 25th. The match day 4, you usually play the team you played match day 3, you reverse the fixture. Match 5, you reverse the fixture from match 2. And match 6, you reverse the fixture from match 1. Then the knockout stages are in February and March, quarterfinals in April, semifinals in April and May, and the final is in June. Americans in Europe, we gotta love to see it. Look at all those names in Champions League and some big teams. 2 for AC Milan, Union Berlin, Celtic, 3 on PSV. Dortmund, and Royal Antwerp. And this is great. They're all hopefully going to play their starters on those teams. This just makes them better for when we have to play in the World Cup. They're used to playing on the highest level against the best players, the best teams. Translate that to international. Europa League, same way. Maybe you're not playing the top tier talent, but you're playing in meaningful games, European nights, to be able to be successful and translate that over. And same with Europa Conference League. A lot of those names you see there are young players in the U.S. pool. Sub 23, 22. I mean, most of these people are sub 25, but those players on Europa League are really young players for us, and that's only going to help them grow, and they'll move up in the levels as well, you hope. So now let's dive into the groups. Group A, Bayern, Man U, Copenhagen, Galatasaray. I have a soft spot for Copenhagen. I stayed abroad there for 6 months, and I got to go there and watch a game. 3 games, actually. They played Galatasaray, which is funny. They got them again when they had Dragwa. They played Real Madrid, and Madrid had an unreal outside the shot goal for that game, and Chelsea. Juventus. So it's Juventus, Galatasaray, and Real Madrid we saw in Copenhagen's group. Now they have Man U, Bayern, and Galatasaray. They cannot catch a break. They just get bangers coming into Copenhagen. But go Copenhagen. You're going to be my dark horse here. How did we get here? Bayern won Bundesliga. We know that they clipped Dortmund on the final day when Dortmund couldn't get the win that they needed and they would have moved forward. Man U came in 3rd in EPL, so they automatically qualified. Denmark, Copenhagen, they won the Danish league, and they get through. You don't get a automatic bid in Denmark. You have to go through qualification rounds. So they won the second round qualifying by an aggregate of 8-3. And here you're playing some very small teams from smaller countries trying to work their way in. And then the third qualifying leg, tied in the initial, and then they won in penalties to move forward. Great for them. That was a very exciting game. And then in the last qualification round, they won 2-1 on aggregate to move forward. And that's how they got into Champions League to play here. Galatasaray automatically moved forward from the Turkish league because they won. They had to do a qualifying round here, so they were able to move forward. Sorry, I did not mean to say they automatically qualified. They moved to qualification in Champions League, and they moved forward. So they had to move in. And the way that you decide if you're able to move forward or not with your qualification round in Champions League is based off of the level of your league and your coefficients, and then it places you into the pool. So England's tougher than Turkey, so that's why they get 4 automatic qualifying. Some big storylines from Group A. Harry Kane just moved to Munich, is going back to England to play Manchester United. His rivals from Tottenham, his compadres, his English brethren. Ten Hag, the coach of Man U, is against Tuchel. This picture of him with the Chelsea shirt, but he's now the coach of Bayern Munich. Good manager, good minds in the game will be playing. So this should be a fun group. Let's just go back really quickly. My predictions for the group, and let me know your thoughts. Bayern 1, Man U 2, Galatasaray 3, Copenhagen 4. I love you, Copenhagen, but the talent on those teams is just out of this world. It's going to be very tough to beat those games. Right. Second group, Group B. Sevilla, Arsenal, PSV, Lens. Sevilla came in 12th in the league last season, so there's no reasons they should be in Champions League. However, they won Europa League, and when you win Europa League, you automatically qualify for Champions League the next year. Straight to this round of 32. This is their competition, Europa League. They've won the most the past decade than anybody else. It's like 4 or 5. So can they stay in Champions League this year and make a run? Or will they fall in the Europa League and see if they can win that back-to-back years? Secondly, you have Arsenal, who came in second. So they are automatically qualified in. PSV came in second in the Dutch league. So they had to move in through qualifying rounds. They won the first qualifying round 7-2 aggregate. And then the second qualifying round, it was 2-2 over Rangers and destroyed 5-1 in the second round to move up 7-3 in aggregate. And then third, you have Lens, who came in as the second team in France. They had an unreal season last season, only lost to PSG by 1 point. And that's when they had Neymar, Mbappe, Messi. I mean, Neymar really wasn't playing. Mbappe and Messi were, but there's drama going. Doesn't matter. To only lose by 1 point to PSG is an impressive season. And that's how they get there. So then our predictions here for this group. Arsenal 1, Sevilla 2, PSV 3, and Lens 4. I should say, if you're coming third in your group, you move down to Europa League, so you still play European competition. Group C, Napoli, Real Madrid, Braga, and Union Berlin. Napoli won Italian League last year. They looked like they were really key to win Champions League, and they did not get past AC Milan, unfortunately, and they lost in the round of 16, or was it round of 8? But they easily won Italian League, as you see here. Secondly, you have Real Madrid. They came in second in La Liga, automatically qualified. Braga came in third in the League of Portugal, so they had to go through qualification round. 7-1 aggregate in the first qualification. Second qualification round, 2-1 over Panathinaikos, and then they won 3-1 aggregate to get them in. And then finally, Union Berlin came in fourth in Bundesliga, and they moved forward. They, 10 years ago, weren't even in the Bundesliga. They got in. They worked their way up slowly. They got in Europa League. They did well, and now they're finally in Champions League. So if we go through, who's the key player in this group? Victor Osimhen, the key scorer for Napoli last season. He was worth over $100 million in transfer talks this offseason. He's a baller. We'll see how he does against Real Madrid. If he has a great another season here, he may be on the move to a top Real Madrid, Barca, Man U type of team. So then let's go back to the group. Who do we think is going to win? Group 1 will be the Group C winner will be number 1, Napoli. Real Madrid will be 2. Braga will be 4th, and Berlin will be 3. Real Madrid's really hurt, so they'll have to pick their battles between Champions League and La Liga. So I think it's going to affect some of the Champions League games. They may get a tie here because they'll be tired. Group D, Benfica, Inter Milan, RB Salzburg, and Real Sociedad. Benfica won the Portuguese league, so they move forward. Inter came in third in the top 4 of Serie A, Italian league, so they move forward. Salzburg won their Austrian league, so they move forward. And then Real Sociedad came in 4th, so they move forward on that qualification La Liga. Last year, Inter made the finals. They lost to Manchester City 1-0. It was a very good game, a very entertaining game, close than most people expected. Can they repeat that and win it this year, at least get back to the finals? Our feelings for how it's going to go: Inter 1, Benfica 2, Salzburg 3, Sociedad 4. Sociedad in Champions League, they're going to try their best, but they are going to be overmatched. Group E, Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, Celtic. Feyenoord won the Dutch league, so they automatically qualified through. Celtic automatically won the Scottish league, so they qualified through. Atletico Madrid came in third in La Liga, so they qualified through automatically. And then Lazio came in second, so they automatically move forward here. So let's show you who we think will be. I think it'll be Atletico Madrid 1, Lazio 2, Feyenoord 3, and Celtic 4, but Celtic will put up a good fight. Let's move to Group F, the Group of Death. Dun dun dun. PSG, Dortmund, Milan, and Newcastle. Why is this a Group of Death? It's because there's just so many good teams here, so many talented players. No game will be easy, or say a lesser team. They're all big titans of Europe, being a big soccer club. Mbappe with PSG. Neymar's gone. Messi's gone. Can he bring them back to the promised land? They got there once and they lost to Munich in the UEFA Champions League final when they had him and Neymar. Messi was supposed to get them over the hump. They did not. New year, new season, new looking team, new coach. What can they do? Bye-bye. One of the 3 is left. Pulisic with AC Milan is there. So excited. Coming over from Chelsea. Started off the season well. Has 2 goals already. Can he continue his hot streak in Champions League and help lead this team back to the semifinals and further than that? Last year they lost to Inter in the semifinals. So can they get back there again? Group of Death. PSG won League 1 last year, so that's why they automatically qualified through. 2, Dortmund came in second in Bundesliga. They lost on the last day. If they would have won, they would have moved forward. That's why they qualify through, because they automatically came in second, so they qualify on. 3, AC Milan came in fourth in Italian league, so they qualify on automatically. And then Newcastle, surprisingly, they were not expected to come in fourth last season in EPL. They came in fourth and they automatically qualified through, but they're put in the group of death. They have some ballers on their team as well, a lot of talent. They're going to give it their all. Newcastle will be rocking. It's always a loud stadium EPL. Just imagine it on the European night. So this will be a tough place to play for all those teams. Don't be surprised if they could come in this group up a little bit. One note, Pulisic is going back to face Dortmund where he started. So great to see. Go back home to those Bavarian fans. And then what do we think in the group of death, how it's going to go? This is a tough one, a really tough one. I'm going to say AC Milan 1, PSG 2, Newcastle 3, Dortmund 4. Dortmund lost Bellingham. They lost some other players. They're young and against a lot of tough competition. It's going to be tough for them to win it all. Will not be tough. It's Group G for Manchester City. They should cruise through. City, Leipzig, Sevilla, Sociedad, and Young Boys. 1, Leipzig move forward because they came in top 3. Well, top 4 move forward, but they came in third. Automatically go through. City won EPL. They won the treble last year. They won EPL. They won FA Cup. And they won Champions League. They got the treble, magical treble. Pep's second treble ever. He won one with Barcelona as well. In the Serbian league, Sevilla won their league. I feel like they had to go through qualification to get into here, but I couldn't find anything, so I'm not quite sure, and I don't give you wrong information, but I'm pretty sure. For Young Boys in the Swiss League, they won that, and they had to go through qualification. They beat Maccabi Haifa 3-0 in aggregate, and that's how they move forward. So if we look at this group right here, how do we think it will turn out? City 1, Leipzig 2, we'll go Young Boys 3, and Zvezda 4. Final group, Barca, Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Antwerp. Porto came in second in the Portuguese league, so they move forward. Shakhtar Donetsk came in first in the Ukrainian league. They move forward. Antwerp came in third in the Belgium league, but the difference Belgium league is, it's like American sports where you have a regular season and then playoffs that determine the winner. And they won the playoffs, which is crazy. So they moved forward into the qualification round for Champions League, and they won an aggregate 3-1. And then, of course, Barca won their La Liga last season. So Group H, what are the predictions? I'm going to say Barca 1, Porto 2, Antwerp 3, Shakhtar 4. But don't be surprised if Shakhtar comes through. So here's the draw again, so you can take it in. Tell me your thoughts. Who do you think will win? Do you think my predictions are bad or good? What do you think of the recap? Love to hear. Thank you for watching. So now what we're going to do is every Champions League night, every European night, so Europa League, we're going to do the same video for Europa League draw as well tomorrow. And then, of course, we'll have all the highlights and big stories for you from Champions League, and then midweek games and weekend games in domestic league games such as La Liga, EPL, Bundesliga, Serie A, etc. Please go ahead and subscribe to Futbol Round-Up with your host, Randy Silver. We got all the biggest football news for you daily. Let's get it. The Champions is back. Deuces, y'all.